Y'all, okay, I just got back. I just got something very exciting through the mail, and I wanted to show you all because oh my god, I can't believe I did this. I'm gonna open this up. It's something that I've been debating on getting ever since I started my YouTube channel, and that is I got a camera. I got a bundle. So I got the camera, and then I got the tripod, and then it came with the little mic. But I think I saw that the mic got shipped separately, so right now I only have these two, which is fine. It's fine because I'm not going to use it until next weekend, so I have time, and I know the other one shipped earlier. So I got the Sony digital camera SV1. It's a point and shoot camera. Y'all, when I said I did research, I've been doing research for years basically at this point. I'm so excited. I officially have to take YouTube more seriously now because I invested in a camera. Oh my god. Ah! It comes with, for like the wind, a charger and the battery. This is my camera. Oh, I'm so excited. I am officially a vlogger. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually invested in a camera. Okay, so the bundle came with the memory card. I'm gonna get another one, and it came with the little tripod holder thing. It has the buttons to be able to like record and stuff on there, so it's easy to kind of like chook, chook. Now the video quality is going to change because we're going to start my monthly vlog. Oh my god, hello. I have a camera. I don't know what to do. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the first time I'm using this camera, and I'm a little bit shy. So we're gonna walk around vlogging on my camera. Anyway, as y'all saw on the title, it is March, which means another month, another book vlog. Not only are we starting to film with a new camera, but we're also going to go to a new bookstore that I've never been before. So we're trying out new things, and I'm planning to stop by a coffee shop to read for a bit. We're really trying out new things here, guys. Like, ooh. But this is the outfit. I put my hair up in this cute little scrunchie. I'm wearing my skinny jeans and a nice blouse with my little flower bag. And actually, I kind of want to change. I think I might change. Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go. I'm procrastinating here. I know what it means to have a camera, and it means that I'm gonna have to film. So you know what? Let's go. Let's do this. I got this. I can't be shy. Let's go. Okay, y'all, can I just say, if I ever say I'm going to go to Portland or drive to Portland, I'm crazy because this traffic was terrible. I'm like 3 blocks away and finally found parking, and I was this close to going to Barnes & Noble's and just like going back home. So we made it, but I'm not really that excited anymore, so we'll see. Let's go. Glasses got me feeling like your clothes are so pretty. I'm torn about the way you love me more when you're not here with me. We fuss and we fight, and it seems like it's every Well, that was absolutely horrible. I hated every second of that experience, but at least I got out of the house for a second. Basically, I walk in and it's like super packed, which I expected it. It is supposed to be the biggest independent used new bookstore of the country. It is huge. It is absolutely huge, which is why, one, it's super overwhelming, and aside from the fact that there's a lot of people, like, I expected that. I'm fine with that. But then as I started getting the books that I was going for, I noticed that the pricing was double the amount. I drove all the way to Portland for no reason. I'm just like, I should stop by at least a coffee shop or something. Nope, I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble, maybe get a pastry at their Starbucks. I really wanted to go to a coffee shop and read, but it is I have to take my dog out for a walk, and it's gonna take me 20 minutes to go back to my city and go to the Barnes & Noble there, because if I go to the Barnes & Noble here, that's like a mile away, I think I might have to pay for parking again, and I don't want to do that, so I'd rather just go where I know I have parking. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should come on a day when I'm, 1, not recording, and 2, not looking for something, because it was just really overwhelming. Other than that, it's a pretty cool bookstore. Yeah, let's go. I got myself some this, and we're gonna have a try for now because I'm really hungry at this point and I had such a long day. Oh my god, they all look so good. I'm gonna try this one. It's I think like the blueberry cheesecake something. Barnes & Noble was a success. I almost bought 2 books I wasn't planning to get today because they were back in stock. I almost went crazy, but I stopped myself. So we're gonna go home. I'm gonna give you all a quick book haul. We'll see if we do the book haul today. Oh my god, do I keep not focusing? I'm sorry. Hello, it is the next day. I am caffeinated. I got myself a drink at Costco. We just got back from Costco. I have my book haul right here. I have the books I'm going to review right here. Let's start off with my book haul. I first want to start off with these 2 books because I didn't actually purchase them with my books yesterday that I'm reading for March, but these are still books that I either started reading or I intend to read for this month. So starting off with Light Lark. I got this book the day after Valentine. I just casually was browsing through the books and I saw that they had Light Lark and I saw that it was on paperback, which is what I wanted originally. And they didn't have it at Barnes & Noble when I was looking for it. So I got it. I started reading it this week actually because I didn't have anything else left to read. I went through my whole February list. So I started reading Light Lark. I got halfway through, 20 pages shy from reaching the halfway mark. I had to DNF it because I just couldn't get into it. This is the first physical book I DNF this year. Maybe I'll give it a try in the future, but for now it's a DNF. Book review, I guess. I'm not gonna give it a book review or a rating because I didn't finish it and I don't think that's fair. Then the other book I have for this month is A Court of Thorn and Roses. ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas is a book that I got for Christmas actually. My boyfriend's sister got me the whole book set, so thank you very much. I'm very excited to finally read it. I have already read the series, but I wanted the physical books because I was going to reread the series again after Throne of Glass, and now that it's been some time since I finished the series, I'm going to start it up. I think what I'm going to do this time around is I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I read it because I've heard these voices and like clips. It would be really nice to hear that. So yeah, those 2 books, I did not get them yesterday, but these are part of my March reads, with this one already read and DNF'd. This one probably towards the end of the month. Now, actually, my book haul. We'll start off in the order I'm going to read them. The first book is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I don't think I've ever reviewed an Ali Hazelwood book on camera, but I've read every book she has. So I think it's because I either listen to it on audiobook and read along in Kindle and I just forget I read it, or because I read them before I even started this segment. So I really like Ali Hazelwood, as most people do. I feel like her stories are very much copy and paste, but there's something comforting about her writing and I just really like it. We're reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood in the online book club that I'm in. I also know that I think Ali Hazelwood used to write on AO3, which from what I know is similar to Wattpad and stuff like that. So this is supposed to be a werewolf vampire romance kind of situation. It's a paranormal romance. I have full expectations that it's a enemies to lovers, Wattpad alpha kind of book. Shout out to all Wattpad writers. That's where we all began. So then the book I'm going to read after is Anita de Montes Last by Xochitl Gonzalez. This book, when I saw the synopsis, I just knew I had to get it. It has like elements of a death mystery that happened a while ago and a girl trying to uncover what really happened in that death. From the synopsis, it looked pretty good. I'm very excited to read this, but I'm trying to explore different genres, so this is definitely a little bit out of my alley, but it is still something that seemed very interesting to me. I took off my book because it was slipping off. Now the next book I'll be reading is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've been wanting to get more into sci-fi and dystopian novels, and I think this is just right up that alley. This is supposed to be kind of like a dystopian sci-fi novel, and I've heard it's really good. Definitely different from what I'm normally used to reading, and we'll see if we get into it. Now the last book I bought for this month is Flawless by Elsie Silver, and this is supposed to be a cowboy kind of romance story. I don't know what is it with me lately. I've been into cowboys, I guess. I don't know if it's just because like maybe cowboys are starting to trend a little bit more. I know that hockey players were trending, but Flawless has been on my list to read for a while, and I know that they have it on Kindle Unlimited. I think this is gonna be a bit of a palette cleanser between series and stuff like that. I'm going to be reading this one after Red Rising and before ACOTAR, so it's going to be, like I said, a little nice palette cleanser, something that's not going to make me rack my brain too much, but it's still going to give me a nice feeling, hopefully, if the book is good. And yeah, these are all the books that I bought and will be reading for the month of March. So now really quick to review my books. I did the reviews for this month in my phone, so the video quality is going to look a little bit different. Like I said, I'm gonna be going back and forth between clips. Video quality is going to change, but insert book review here. If you came from my Kingdom of Ash reaction video, hello. If not, and you want a more in-depth review of that, I guess you can go see that video where I talk a little bit more with spoilers too, so just be warned. I finished Kingdom of Ash! Yay! That means I finished the whole Throne of Glass series. So, Kingdom of Ash. Really quick. I started it February 11th and finished it yesterday, which was February 15th. So it took me, give or take, 4 days. What can I say of Kingdom of Ash? Kingdom of Ash was a really, really good book. This is the last book of the Throne of Glass series, so I am not going to give too much of a synopsis. This book just picks up from where Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn leaves off. So it is already very much action-packed from the very beginning because of that. There is a lot of preparations for certain things that are happening there. There's a lot of tying loose ends. It is a final book to a 8-book long series, so there's a lot of loose ends that are tied up in this book, and just so much happens. So much emotions happen. I really enjoyed reading this book. With all of that said, I still rated it a 4.5 out of 5, and I feel like a lot of people are going to hate me for that or come for me for that. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me personally, in my opinion, because sometimes my attention span was just not there. Because like I said, there's a lot of preparation when it comes to this book. That's the only reason basically why I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, but it was a really good book. This is one fantasy series I definitely recommend. The whole series overall is a 5 out of 5. I finished reading One True Loves by Taylor Yankin Reads last night. As I always do, I usually finish my books at night because it's when I read the most. A quick synopsis about this book. So this book is about a girl who marries her high school sweetheart. Right before her anniversary, her husband goes and does a job that's supposed to take him to Alaska, and his helicopter crashes and he's never found and presumed dead. So then fast forward 3.5 years later, she is engaged, has fallen in love with someone, and she gets a call from her husband saying that he's alive and he's coming home. So basically it follows a story about Emma, who has to decide between her husband and her fiance. So I actually had very high hopes for One True Loves because the idea also seems very tragic. There's so much pining and emotion, and you just like feel like there's going to be so much to this book. In reality, it did not meet my expectations, and I think this is my fault once again. I feel like I really need to not have expectations for books. I think I just really need to go in thinking it's its own individual book instead of comparing it to others. But it's just this author really just captured my heart in that other book that I thought this was going to be similar in that sense. And I just felt like this book might not have been one of her best books so far from the 2 that I've read. But I feel like one of the things that went wrong in this book is that you get very short scenes of her relationship with her husband and her relationship with her fiance, that you don't get attached to neither one of them, so you're actually not rooting for anyone, which you would think then, okay, you're rooting for the main girl, you want just her to be happy, her to like end up with who she truly loves. But even then, like, our protagonist, at least personally for me, was very frustrating and annoying, and I feel like I'm being a little bit too hard on her because I actually genuinely do not know how I would react if I were in her shoes. But there are some things that I feel that are questionable on her part, and a lot of her decisions feel very questionable, and how she like proceeds with how to choose one of these guys. I think in theory this book would have been really good. I just feel like the amount of story, and I understand it needs to have a page limit, but the amount of story didn't flesh out a lot of the problems, and there was just too many plot holes. There were too many things kind of you're just like, what's going on? Why is she doing that? And just her decision was very, very like fast. I don't know, it did not sit well with me. I did rate it a little higher than I wanted to, because again, I liked the idea of the book and I really liked the message of the book. Like, I really liked the message. Overall, my rating for this book is a 3 out of 5, a very generous 3 out of 5. May I add. Hi, oh my god, I just remembered. I can't believe I almost forgot I was supposed to do this today. So I finished reading War last night, so I wanted to give a quick book review about this, and it was pretty good. I actually liked it. I liked it more than Pestilence, honestly. So War is a dark romance. For those of you who get triggered with dark romance subjects, it is a dark romance. It's a enemies to lovers trope for sure. And War, just like Pestilence, I feel like could be read as a standalone, but it's nice to read it as the second book of the Horseman series, the 4 Horsemen series, because it is technically the second book. But you don't have to read Pestilence to know what happens in this book. There's no major cliffhangers. Like, they kind of give you a sneak peek of what's going to happen in the next series, but there's no major cliffhangers or anything like that. Everything wraps up in one book. So quick synopsis about War. The second Horseman has popped up in the world after the 4 of them kind of went through the first time and has awoken. And the War is war. So his power is to kill and heal people. There is violence, a lot of violence in this book. There is religious topics, there's political topics in it as well, and there's obviously a lot of death as well. So definitely this one, I feel like Pestilence also had a few triggers, but this one I feel like has slightly more. So just look at the website, see if this is for you, if it's not for you. This follows a story of Miriam gets captured by the second Horseman War because he decides, you are my God-given wife, you are meant for me. So he spares her and takes her along this whole journey, and basically it's just kind of a fight between the apocalypse and Miriam. Miriam trying to stop it, trying to stop war from killing, from just continuing all this massacre, and trying to stop him and his army, while War is just like, this is my purpose, this is my life, you can't change me. So it just kind of follows their story. Yeah, it's a pretty good story. There might be a trope in there that some of y'all might not like, but it's very much towards the end, and I was okay with that. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, not 5 out of 5. It was really good. I finished it in 3 days. I started it on the 20th and finished it on the 23rd. So it was pretty good, pretty easy to read. And the spicy scene is about a 2.5 out of 5. So it's spicy and it shows up a little bit more than Pestilence did, but it's not to the point where it's just all spice, no plot. Book review for The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. So I finished this book yesterday, which was February 28th. This book is my first science fiction book that I have read in a long time, not counting the Barbarian Planet ones. I don't feel like I count that as sci-fi, even though it is sci-fi. That's like sci-fi romantasy kind of situation that can be placed in any other kind of setting. But this one feels like a true sci-fi book. So a quick synopsis about this book. This book is a feel-good kind of sci-fi story. It has a plot. The whole purpose of this story is this human who's from Mars joins this ship, this crew, as a clerk, and they have basically a mission to go to somewhere in the universe to create a different type of tunnel transport kind of situation. And it kind of just follows their journey over there. And I would say it follows her story, but I feel like this book specifically, it's just many point of views. So yes, you follow Rosemary, but Rosemary doesn't always feel like the main protagonist. I feel like it's just the whole crew is the main protagonist. So the stuff that I liked about it is that I feel like it was a really good introduction to sci-fi, like especially like space, galaxy, universe sci-fi, because there was so many species, there were so many planets, so many different cultures. Like the imagination of this author is just so big, and you got to see snippets of all this culture. This is the first book in a very, very long time where I highlighted quotes because the writing is just so beautiful. We cannot blame ourselves for the wars our parents start. Sometimes the very best thing we could do is walk away. It was just so incredibly unique. And I know this is a series. I think it's 4 books in the series, but from what I've heard is you could read all of these as standalones. And I could definitely see this as a standalone because it wraps up nicely. I am going to pick up the second book, just not right now. I think it's just gonna, like, when I need a break from series or when I want another feel-good book, because I'm very excited to see what the second book is about. I already know who it's going to follow, what story it's going to follow, so I'm excited for that. I'm going to rate this a 5 out of 5. Like I said, I have not highlighted a book. I don't like writing on my books. It hurts me, but this one I had the urge so bad. And the book hasn't made me feel that way in so long. Also, I am pretty new to sci-fi, and that might be why I'm rating this so high, but it was just such an amazing story. I really liked it. And yeah, 5 out of 5. Completely took me out of my reality, pushed me into space, and it was just so fun to read. This is my final book of the month, and I read One Dark Window by Rachel Gilling. So it took me about 3 days to finish it. It was like a good book. It made me feel back when I was in like high school, middle school, when these kind of like genres were popular. This is fantasy, I think, but it felt a lot more like paranormal at the same time. So just a quick synopsis, this is book 1 of a duology, of the Shepherd King duology. This follows the story of a girl called Elspeth. She gets infected with magic at a young age as a kid, and at the time basically having magic was treason. You weren't able to have magic, which now that I'm repeating it sounds very similar to a different plot or multiple plots that I've read. So her family basically hides her magic, and you follow her as an adult. It just kind of follows the story of her uncovering the truth about the Providence card, about the kingdom she lives in, and the dangers of like magic and stuff like that. I think what I liked the most about it was that because it is categorized as fantasy, it just felt like a different kind of fantasy, even though once I started repeating the plot, I'm just like, wait a minute, I've heard the story before in a different version. Even though it follows a similar plot to other stories that might be out there, I feel like the take to it is a little bit unique. Not too much stood out in the story. I do want to know how the second book ends, and because it's only 2 books, I don't mind reading the second book. My rating for this book is going to be a 3.5 out of 5. It was a good book. It was a good story. It was refreshing from what is really trending right now. But like I said, nothing really stood out too much to the point where I'm just like, I love this book. But it was a good read. And yeah, these are the books I read for February. Very fun. I think that's pretty much it. Again, thank you all so much for coming along. I'm so sorry that trip to that new bookstore was kind of a bit of an epic fail. I was just really overwhelmed, and it was just really overwhelming. Yeah, I'm so excited to have this camera. My videos are going to be kind of shifting back and forth, so not all of the videos I'm going to be releasing are going to be filmed with my camera. Some are still going to be filmed with my phone, so the quality is going to jump back and forth. So bear with me, y'all, bear with me. Eventually all my books are going to look uniformed, hopefully. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for following me along. Have a beautiful day, and I will see y'all next time. Bye bye.